One.
Welcome to Temple Bethel, Israel. We're pleased that you have chosen to join us for Shabbat. Noticing that there are some differences these days. You can sit at home with your feet up and watch and participate. Feel free to sing, to read out loud. We start, as always, by blessing our homes, our families, and our community. Amen. Amen. May God bless this house with love. Amen. Amen. May God bless this house. Take just a moment and offer a blessing to those you love, to those you know and to those you don't, to those who need our help and our prayers. Whether we agree or not, we're all on God's earth together. And we only succeed when we all succeed. This house with love. Amen. Amen. May God bless this house. Amen. And now, for those of you who have set up Shabbat candles, we welcome the light of Shabbat. As you light the first candle, remember to repeat the word Shamor, to guard, one of the first words of the Ten Commandments. Shamor et Yom HaShabbat, to guard the day of Shabbat. When you light the second candle, you remind yourself by using the word Zachor, which means to remember. Because if you guard the Shabbat, you will remember it. And if you remember it, you will guard it. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kirishanu b'mitzvotav Itzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Lechatoni, lechat kala, yadadai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, v'kabela. Lechatoni, lechat kala, yadadai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, v'kabela. Shamor v'zachor, v'diburecha, Adonai echad, Shmo echad, T'shem u'tiferet, v'lit b'ila. Lechatoni, lechat kala, yadadai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, v'kabela. Lekrat Shabbat, v'kuvenecha, ki imekor Maore, Umi Ori, Uri Uri, Shida Baby, Yehod Adonai, Alayich Nikan, Nichatu, Nikakal, Yai Dai 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 Dai, Nishabat, Nikabila. Enter in peace, O crown of your husband. Enter in gladness, enter in joy. Come to the people that keeps its faith. Enter, O bride. Enter, O bride. Lichatu di lichatalam, da-da-dai, 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 Nishabat, Nikabla. Lichatu di lichatalam, yada-dai, 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 Nishabat, Nikabla. Lichatu di lichatalam, yada-dai, yada-dai, Nishabat, Nikabla. Yitkadav, Yitkadash, Shemei Rabah. Gomad Vrachutei, Amlechmachutei, V'chayechon, Uvyomechon, Uv'chayech al Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala, ba'agala, Umizpan Karib, V'meru, Amen. Yeheshmei Rabbah Mevarach, V'olam olam ve'amayah, Yitbarach. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitbahar v'yiromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadah v'yitaleh, v'yitala shemei dekudesha b'richu. Le'ila min kol birchata yishirata, tushbirchata v'nefemata, v'amiran ve'amah, v'meru, Amen. Even though you're home alone, this is a call to worship. And so I encourage you to repeat what is sung when you see the yellow. Et Adonai. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidbaro ma'ori baravim, v'chachma poteach sha'arim, ובתבונה משנה עיתים ומחליף את הזמנים, ומסדר את הכוכבים במשמרותיהם ברקיע כרצונו. בורא יום ולילה, גולל אור מפני חושך וחושך מפני אור, ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה. אדוני צבאות שמו, חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב הרבים. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושינתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there, except by joining hands, marching together. Eloheinu Lishalom, Ve'hamidenu Shomreinu L'chaim. Ve'hamidenu Shomreinu L'chaim. Ukos Aleinu Surkad, Shalom Lecha. Hashivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Lishalom, Ve'hamidenu Shomreinu L'chaim. Hashivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Lishalom, Ve'hamidenu Shomreinu. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Yishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורות הברית עולם. ישמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות הברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות הברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות הברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. We continue now with Hatfilah, the prayer, the Shemona Esrei, the 18 benedictions, the central portion of our prayer. I commend you to look at the English if the Hebrew that is being chanted is not easy for you at this point. The more services you attend, the easier it will become. But I ask you, look at the English. See what is being sung. See what we are asking Adonai our God to give us. They are not just idle words. They are the central portion of what we pray for in every service. Adonai sifatai tiftach Ufi agidi latecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei HaKol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Libnei V'Neihem, L'Ma'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atah rab le'Hoshia, Mechakel chayim b'chesed, Mechayeh hakol b'rachamim rabim, Somech novlim b'rofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayim emunato, Lishemei apar, Michamocha ba'al givurot, Umido melach, Melech memit umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lehachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh, v'shemcha kadosh, u'kdoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. We continue through the 18 benedictions in silence. Take the Englishes to heart. We spend a moment as we concern ourselves with those in need of healing, be it physical, spiritual, or emotional, in these days of COVID-19. That pretty much includes all of us. And so we pray tonight, not just for others, but for ourselves as well. Remember the names. Can you hear that song? May it be God's will. Amen. And now, just for a moment, I take off the guitar, which is important. And now, we spend a moment on this week's Torah portion. The last portions of the book of Numbers. Again, another double portion, Matot and Maaseh. And as we come to the end of the book of Numbers, we start the portion with a statement of the responsibility of words, of an oath. The Torah goes into great detail regarding the value of our words and the responsibility to adhere to the commitments we make. It is our job and our continuing responsibility to stand for the commitments we make and not back away from them nor divest ourselves ever of the obligation to see them through. They are our commitment, our contract with the person we've spoken to. It happens in this portion that It starts by talking about the obligations and responsibilities of men, that all men of proper age are obligated for their words. But it then goes on, and it's something remarkable for its age and enormously advanced. It also says that women who are not under the house or control of their father are equally responsible for vows and obligations that they commit to. An early moment of the Jews having the fortitude emotionally to say, women are responsible as well. If they make a commitment, then they are bound to that commitment. This is not an issue of ease. Many things become dependent on our choices and our obligations. We are known by our deeds, our actions, our fulfilling of vows. The most important name we can acquire in Jewish tradition is a Shem Tov, a good name. And that's a response to our actions. Words without actions are meaningless drivel that allow others to envision us as people to be distrusted. People whose words and offers of help, support, and friendship are easily dispelled by looking at their previous actions if they have not held themselves to their own words. What we say we will do creates a vision in others that they can depend on us. That starts as early as when I am training children to become young adults for bar mitzvah. And I say to them, you will be known the day after your bar or bat mitzvah by the way in which you fulfill the commitment you made to see this event, because they are required to do 3 things to prove to the community that their word is good. They must lead us in prayer from the prayer book. They must read from the Torah, not perfectly. Nobody ever said perfectly, but to the best of their ability plus a little bit. And then they have to become our teacher. That's what the speeches are about. And after that, people will go, Mazel Tov, you're a bar mitzvah. But that's not what's meant. What's meant is, now that you have become a bar mitzvah, you are assuming additional obligations, that your word is your bond, and your bond is unbreakable. And this is why we spend so much time training bar and bat mitzvah students to do the best they can, not the least they can, to become as devoted and honest to that service as to anything they have ever committed to in their lives. Well, empty vows and offers not only hurt the people who speak them, but they diminish how they are seen by others. Just saying something to make it easy certainly does not move you forward. On Kol Nidre, we ask God to give us a pass for any vows made that were unfulfilled in the last year. However, God does not absolve us unless we've made an attempt to say, I made a vow and I just forgot. So what? That's easy. That's not a vow that God will hear successfully. If you have made an attempt that had come up short, that is when God will reach forward and put you back on the path and help you and give you another chance to fulfill it. But it is on us to stand up and make the attempt. It is our challenge to not just walk away and say, oh, God will give us a pass this time. No problem. I'll try it again next year. To just say, I'm going to go try it again next year? You think God listens to that? Your own family doesn't listen to that because they don't believe that you'll do it next year. They believe that you're pushing a vow, a moral commitment aside. As Jews, we have a moral commitment to watch over those less fortunate. How can we stand before God on Yom Kippur and ask for a pass on small things and not work to our limit to protect God's creatures, be they human or animal? However, on Yom Kippur, we stand there and we list an alphabet of sins, starting with Aleph and going through Zion, and starting at the beginning and going all the way through an alphabet of vows made, vows unkept. We are only absolved of the vows incomplete by error, not the ones we intentionally avoided or just decided weren't so important. They are all important if they are attached to the word, I make a vow. I give you my commitment. I give you my word. We stand before God that night to ask to be absolved so we can go to the people we have sinned against, which we have already done between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. We have no right to stand before God if we have not stood before humanity first. We do not have that right. We've sinned against many by our words. Words can dig and be far more hurtful and hateful than actions, or even worse, our inactions. As we finish the book of Numbers this weekend, let us begin this last book of Torah, which ultimately will end on Simchat Torah when we finish Deuteronomy and start again. Let us cleanse our life's palette of words that are only meant to cause pain and hurt, and anything but support for all of us around us. We do not stand before God if we do not honor the beings God has created. Let us look to find the good in people of good intent, and let us try to find good in people of hateful speech. And as Jews, let us work to create a world far more adherent to God's words than the words of flawed human beings. It is, after all, God who is the ultimate arbiter of whether we have succeeded or not. Let us work to make God's job on Yom Kippur just a tad easier, just a little bit. There's enough nonsense to go around. We are human. God knows that. We create enough nonsense for God to sit and shake the head of the Eternal One and go, good Lord, what have I created? He asked that at the Tower of Babel. He asked that as he looked at the world just before he had Noah built the ark. There's plenty of nonsense to go around. Let us as Jews and as human beings not be part of it. Let us be arbiters of truth. Become a wordsmith of words of value, of strength, and of positive spirit. It is so easy to find words that take somebody's breath away, either in kindness or disrespect. Together, biyachad, we can do it. But each of us has a part to play, and it begins on this Shabbat because we choose to have it begin on this Shabbat. Just once a day, find something good to say to somebody. It will change your life and theirs. Shabbat Shalom. We now continue with the Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon ha'kol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמענו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככהנם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגוהי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום בשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, והארץ מתחת אין עוד. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד, ושמו אחד. We spend a moment now in silence as we look at the names on our yahrzeit list, remembering those whose passings occurred during this week in years past, as we also mention the names of those taken through hate at the hand of the oppressor, and over 1.5 million children taken in the Holocaust, for whom there is no one to recite Kaddish save the Jewish people. Yetgadal v'yetgadash shemei rabbah, ve'olma divrach lutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon, v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, v'agalah u'lizman kariv, v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach l'olam u'l'olmei olmaya. Yetbarach v'yishtabach, v'yetba'ar v'yetbamam v'yetnaseh, Yetadar, Yetalev, Yetalal, Shmei Dikucha, Brichu, Le'elam in Kol Birchata V'Shirata, Tushbechata V'Nechemata, Da'amiran Ba'oma V'Miru Omen, Yehei Shalom Rabba Min Shemaya, V'Chaim Aleinu V'Al Kol Yisrael V'Miru Omen. Oseh Shalom V'Mirumav, Huya Aseh Shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'miru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which together we say, Amen. Now we spend just a moment as we bless the Shabbat wine. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen. And as always, we thank God for the blessings of the fruit of the vine and the bread from the earth, the miracle, voila, chala. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. And as we conclude, we join together in the blessing with which we started this service. That we bless all people, all inhabitants of the earth, regardless of race, religion, creed, or color. They are all God's children. It is not for us to decide between them, but to share our gifts with all of them. Those who have more than we have, those who have less. What we have is not what makes us who we are. What makes us who we are is what we do. Bless our lives, our children and our families. Bless all of those who have lost their way. Bring peace to all who seek a world of beauty. Give blessings, God, to all these today. Amen. Amen. May God bless this house with love. Amen. Amen. May God bless this house. May God bless this house. May God bless our house. Amen. Amen. Shabbat Shalom.